Crystal clear blue pool water looks simple. Fill the pool, turn on the filtration system, and start swimming. But without proper water treatment, that clear water can quickly become cloudy, green, and filled with algae and microorganisms. This is why we need pool chemistry. But how does pool chemistry actually work? What exactly does chlorine do? Why is pH so important? How do algae grow? What does a flocculant do? And why can a strong chlorine smell sometimes indicate that the water chemistry is actually not ideal? To understand this, we first need to look at the water itself. Swimming pool water is not sterile. Every swimmer introduces small amounts of sweat, skin oils, cosmetics, microorganisms, and other organic material. Dust, pollen, insects, leaves, and other contaminants also enter the pool from the surrounding environment. And when the water is warm and exposed to sunlight, conditions can become favorable for microorganisms and algae. Filtration alone is not enough. A pool filter can remove many physical particles, but it cannot reliably disinfect the entire volume of water. That is why swimming pools use disinfection. The most common disinfectant is chlorine. When suitable chlorine-based chemicals are added to pool water, they create active chlorine compounds. One of the most important is hypochlorous acid. This acts as a powerful disinfectant and oxidizing agent. It attacks important structures and chemical processes inside many microorganisms, helping destroy or deactivate bacteria and other contaminants. Chlorine also oxidizes some of the organic material introduced by swimmers. But the effectiveness of chlorine depends heavily on another important measurement. pH tells us how acidic or alkaline the water is. Swimming pool water is commonly maintained somewhere around 7.2 to 7.6, although the exact recommended range depends on the pool system and local guidelines. Why does this matter? Because pH changes the chemical balance between different forms of chlorine in the water. If you like similar educational content, please like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends. At an appropriate pH, a useful proportion of the chlorine remains in a highly effective disinfecting form. If the pH becomes too high, chlorine disinfection can become significantly less effective. The pool may still contain chlorine, but it may not disinfect the water as efficiently as expected. High pH can also encourage certain mineral deposits and contribute to cloudy water. If the pH becomes too low, the water can become more aggressive towards some pool materials and equipment and may also become uncomfortable for swimmers. This is why pool owners use chemicals commonly called pH increaser and pH reducer, sometimes simply labeled pH plus and pH minus. Their purpose is to bring the water back into the desired range. This gives us one of the fundamental rules of pool maintenance. Simply adding chlorine is not enough. The water must have the correct conditions for that chlorine to work effectively. But even correct pH and chlorine levels do not automatically guarantee perfectly clear water. Some particles suspended in the pool can be so small that they pass through the filtration system. This is where flocculation can help. A flocculant encourages tiny suspended particles to join together into larger clusters. These larger particles can then be captured more easily by an appropriate filter, or, depending on the system, allowed to settle and be removed from the bottom. And what happens when the pool has already turned green? Green water usually indicates significant algae growth. The solution is not simply to remove the visible green color. The entire system must be considered: pH, disinfectant level, circulation, filtration, and the amount of contamination in the water. In some situations, a stronger temporary treatment known as shock chlorination is used to rapidly increase the disinfecting and oxidizing power of the water. Pool water is therefore a constantly changing chemical system. pH affects chlorine. Chlorine reacts with contaminants. Filtration removes particles. And every swimmer changes the chemistry of the water. That is why a pool can look perfect one day and become cloudy or green only a few days later. When we walk into a swimming pool area and notice that strong, familiar chlorine smell, most people assume there is simply too much chlorine in the water. But the reality is more complicated. To understand why, we need to distinguish between free chlorine and combined chlorine. Free chlorine is the portion available in the water to disinfect and react with microorganisms and contaminants. But when chlorine reacts with nitrogen-containing substances introduced by swimmers, including compounds associated with sweat and other organic contamination, it can form substances called chloramines. And chloramines are responsible for much of the characteristic sharp smell associated with heavily used swimming pools. They can also contribute to eye and respiratory irritation, particularly in poorly ventilated indoor pools. So a strong chlorine smell does not necessarily mean the water contains an excessive amount of effective disinfectant. It can indicate that chlorine has already reacted with a significant amount of contamination. By comparing total chlorine and free chlorine, we can estimate the amount of combined chlorine in the water. If combined chlorine becomes excessive, the water chemistry needs to be corrected. One method used in appropriate situations is shock chlorination. During shock treatment, the chlorine concentration is temporarily increased to provide much stronger oxidation and disinfection. This can help deal with accumulated contaminants, microorganisms, algae, and problems associated with chloramines. But shock treatment does not mean randomly pouring a huge amount of chlorine into the pool. The correct dose depends on the pool volume, measured water parameters, type of chlorine product, and manufacturer's instructions. The pool should only be used again when the water has returned to appropriate conditions for swimming. Another common pool chemical is an algaecide. As the name suggests, algaecides are designed to prevent or control algae growth. Algae can multiply rapidly when conditions become favorable, especially when disinfectant levels are insufficient, circulation is poor, or warm water receives plenty of sunlight. But fixing a green pool usually requires more than one chemical. The pH should be checked and corrected, disinfectant levels restored, walls and surfaces brushed where appropriate, and the filtration and circulation system operated effectively. Circulation is extremely important because pool chemicals need to reach the entire volume of water. The pump draws water from the pool, pushes it through the filtration system, and returns it through the pool inlets. The filter removes physical contamination, while chemical disinfectants deal with microorganisms and oxidizable contaminants. The two systems therefore work together. But some particles are so small that they can remain suspended in the water and pass through certain filtration systems. This can create cloudy or milky water. This is where a flocculant can be useful. Flocculants help destabilize extremely fine suspended particles and encourage them to combine into larger clusters called flocks. These larger particles can then be removed more easily by a suitable filtration system, or, with some treatment methods, allowed to settle before being vacuumed from the bottom. Pool chemistry is also influenced by total alkalinity and water hardness. Total alkalinity describes the water's ability to resist sudden changes in pH. If alkalinity is too low, pH can become unstable and change rapidly. If it is too high, adjusting the pH can become more difficult. Water hardness is mainly associated with dissolved minerals, especially calcium and magnesium. If calcium levels become too high under the wrong conditions, mineral scale can form on pool surfaces, heaters, pipes, and other equipment. If hardness is too low, the water can become problematic for certain pool surfaces and materials. Outdoor pools have another major enemy: sunlight. Ultraviolet radiation from the sun can break down free chlorine surprisingly quickly. For this reason, many outdoor chlorinated pools use cyanuric acid, commonly known as chlorine stabilizer. It helps protect chlorine from rapid destruction by sunlight. But once again, more is not always better. If the stabilizer concentration becomes too high, chlorine becomes less effective at disinfecting the water under typical conditions. This is why proper pool maintenance is based on measurement, not simply on how clear the water looks. Modern pools can take this idea even further with automatic sensors and dosing equipment. Instead of waiting for the water to become green or cloudy, the system can continuously monitor important parameters and make small corrections before a serious problem develops. Modern pool treatment does not necessarily mean manually adding chlorine tablets every few days. Swimming pools can now use salt chlorination, UV disinfection, automatic chemical dosing, and electronic sensors to keep water conditions much more stable. One of the most misunderstood systems is the saltwater pool. It may sound like a saltwater pool does not use chlorine, but in reality, it produces its own chlorine from dissolved salt. Salt, or sodium chloride, is added to the pool water. The concentration is much lower than in seawater, so the pool normally does not feel like swimming in the ocean. The slightly salty water then passes through a salt chlorinator cell. Inside this cell, an electric current drives electrochemical reactions involving the chloride ions dissolved in the water. This process ultimately produces active chlorine that can form effective disinfecting compounds in the pool. The chlorine then performs essentially the same basic job as chlorine added from conventional pool chemicals. It helps control microorganisms and oxidize contaminants. So a saltwater pool is still a chlorinated pool. The main difference is that instead of repeatedly adding all of the chlorine as a finished chemical product, the system continuously generates it from salt already dissolved in the water. Over time, chlorine species can eventually return to chloride forms, allowing the salt to remain part of the overall chemical cycle. Another technology used in some swimming pools is UV disinfection. Pool water is pumped through a chamber containing a source of ultraviolet radiation. The UV radiation can damage the genetic material of microorganisms and prevent them from reproducing effectively. But UV has an important limitation. It only treats the water that is passing through the UV chamber at that moment. Once the water returns to the swimming pool, the UV radiation does not remain in the water as a residual disinfectant. For this reason, UV treatment is commonly used as a supplement to another disinfection system, rather than as a simple replacement for all chemical treatment. Modern pool systems can also automate much of the chemical control. Sensors can continuously or periodically monitor parameters such as pH and oxidation reduction potential, often called ORP, depending on the system. A controller analyzes these measurements and controls dosing pumps or the output of the salt chlorinator. If the pH begins to rise, the system can automatically add a controlled amount of pH-reducing chemical. If the measured disinfecting conditions fall below the desired level, the system can adjust chemical dosing or increase chlorine production. So the next time you see a perfectly clear blue swimming pool, there is much more happening beneath the surface than a filter and a few chlorine tablets. Sunlight is breaking down chemicals. Microorganisms are trying to grow. Minerals remain dissolved in the water. Swimmers introduce new contaminants. And the treatment system is continuously working to keep everything under control. And that is how swimming pool chemistry works.